We know that. So what we get to know now, NFIA is the difference of the various factor income that our normal residents earns abroad and the minus the various factor incomes that the non-residents earn from India. So we take a difference of this and we get NFIA. Now next, moving to significance. What is the importance of NFIA? Alright, the significance. We know now what is NFIA. We got the meaning of NFIA. NFIA is the difference between factor income earned and factor income earned and factor income paid. Then we discussed the components of NFIA. Next we are moving to significance. Significance or its importance. What is the significance of NFIA? NFIA differentiates between domestic and national income. Alright, the differentiate between domestic and national income. Alright, let's take up a domestic concept. Let's take up a domestic concept, GDP at factor cost. Hope you remember this now, factor cost. Alright, GDP, I think this is already done with in the previous class. So GDP at factor cost. So what is it? Domestic income, right? It is a domestic concept. Now to this domestic concept, when we will add NFIA, it becomes a national concept. It becomes gross national product at factor cost. See, with the addition of NFIA, what happens? Domestic concept becomes national concept. Alright, similarly, let's take our domestic income, ND. This is an aggregate used for our domestic income. What is domestic income? Domestic income is measured by this aggregate, NDPFC. With this, if we add NFIA, we get national income, NNPFC. See how domestic becomes national with the addition of NFIA. Alright, similarly, suppose if we have national income, NNPFC is our national income. Yes, this aggregate is used to represent our national income, NNPFC. Alright, now from NNPFC, when we subtract NFIA, we have subtracted NFIA. So what we will get? We will get NDPFC. So when we subtract NFIA from national income, the national concept becomes domestic concept. Right? So in this way we see what is the significance of NFIA? NFIA is important because it differentiates between domestic income and national income. To domestic income, if we add NFIA, we get national income. From national income, if we subtract NFIA, we get the domestic income. Right? Okay. So this is a very important part. Next, we are moving to another thing. Alright, feature you can say. When we are talking of NFIA now, NFIA can be positive. NFIA can be positive. When can NFIA be positive? Alright, we already know what is NFIA. NFIA is income. It is income earned. We have earned something and something is paid. Alright, now what we have earned? Earned is rupees, suppose 100. Alright, our earned is 100 and what we have to pay to the rest of the world is suppose 40. Alright, in that case, what is our NFIA? It is positive. Alright, we get a positive NFIA. Similarly, NFIA can be negative. It can also be negative now. When can it be negative? When what we earn is less than what we pay. Alright, suppose we are earning 40 and then we have to pay 100. What we are paying? Factor income to the non-residents. of the rest of the world, 100 gone, and what our normal residence is bringing, only 40. Alright, so what is the difference now? We get 60. So NFIA becomes negative. Okay, then NFIA can also be 0. Can be 0. When can it be 0? When what we earn and what we pay. What we earn and what we pay is exactly equal. We are earning rupees 100 and then we also have to pay rupees 100 to the rest of the world. So what is NFIA? NFIA is 0. Right? So when we are talking of NFIA, these are some of the important points to remember. What are the components of NFIA? What is the significance of NFIA? Alright, how does it differentiate between domestic and national concept? And then NFIA can be positive, it can be negative, it can be 0. Alright, so this was the last topic for this portion that we have done. And then lastly, we will just summarize towards the end of the chapter with many concepts we have come across. And then we get here some basic formulae. Right? We get some important basic formulae. What are these important basic formulae? First one is with depreciation. How with this concept, okay, we make some adjustment. For example, we have gross national product at suppose market price. Gross. When we subtract depreciation from gross, what will we get? NNP at market price. See, with the subtraction of depreciation, what happens? Gross becomes net. Right? Similarly, suppose you have NNP at market price. When you add depreciation, you will get GNP at market price. Okay, this is one point we got, very important. Secondly, we got NIT, net indirect taxes. Alright, indirect taxes paid and subsidies received. The difference of this gives us NIT. Similarly, when we take NIT distinguishes between market price and factor cost. Suppose we have again GDP at market price. Alright, market value of the domestic product is given. From there, when we subtract NIT, in that case we will get gross domestic product at factor cost. See, market value now becomes money value. Alright, so with the subtraction of NIT, we see that market price gets converted into factor cost. Similarly, when we add, suppose we have GDP at FC. Alright, to that if you add NIT, alright, factor cost, this is the money value. To the money value, when we are adding indirect taxes, we get the market value, GDP at market price. Okay, another very important thing. And then lastly, what we discussed today is NFIA. NFIA. So, we have suppose GDP at FC, alright, plus NFIA. If you do it, if you add NFIA, what we will get? We will get NNP FC. See, here the domestic concept becomes national concept. Similarly, suppose we have our national income. NNP FC is our national income. Okay, from our national income, when we subtract NFIA, okay, we will get domestic income becomes national income with the addition of NFIA. Right? So these are some basic formulae, okay, which will be used often now and then when we will be taking up national income accounting. Okay, I hope you have understood. You will go through the video, pause it wherever necessary. Alright, that's all for today. Thank you, children.